Hi teachers, I'm going to show you how to manage and load your class lists into LanSchool. So after you have opened LanSchool, you can come up here to Administer, One-to-One. Manage class lists means that you are creating the class list that you're going to use in LanSchool. Load class list means that it will populate all of those students that you have managed into the LanSchool program. So the first thing we're going to do is do manage class lists. You'll only need to do this one time unless you have new students that are added to classes. So I will click on manage class list. I will want to make sure that the class list is using the login name. Sometimes it is preset to student name or machine name. So make sure that you have it set to login name. Then we're going to use that class list that we built from Skyward and saved as a CSV file. So go ahead and open Import Students. I will find from my desktop my CSV file that I created. So I created it under LanSchool 2018-19 and I will click on Open. Notice as soon as I do that, right here is going to show all of the students from that class. Now I can go ahead and do a Save As. Rename this, leaving that .lsc, and then create the class list. So if I have more than one class, for example, I'm dual immersion or I am a secondary teacher, I will want to name it something that I will remember which class is which. Otherwise, you can just name it LanSchool 2018-19, just like you did the other one. Then I will click on Save. When I do this, now I have that class list saved here for me so I can close it. So now what I will do is I will go and I will be able to load that class list. So if you have more than one class, like I mentioned before, you will want to manage class lists for every class that you want to bring in. Otherwise, you can come here and load your class list now. And this is the process that you will do pretty much every time. So I'll go to Load Class List. I will click on my LanSchool file that I created, and then I can go ahead and click on Open. When I load my class into LanSchool, I can see that all of their computers will manually pop up for me. As you're watching, you can see that the students' screens, it may be a few seconds delay, but pretty much I can see where they are in real time. And it will continue to update for me. I can also tell in the right-hand corner of each screen what is showing up. So if I look at the students with the boxes, I can see that they are on iReady. The R on the top right-hand corner is Road to Success. Okay, and few seconds ago, I actually saw one that showed that they were on Clever. If I see one that says missing student, usually that means one of two things, okay? So this not responding or missing student. Usually means that they are either not logged into the computer or their computer is logged in and their computer monitor is shut. If after a while it is still not showing up, and you know that the student is logged in, you can do one of two things. The first thing you can try is having them log out of the computer and log back in. It could be that LanSchool is just not recognizing it yet. Our other option is to go up to Administer, One-to-One, Dismiss your class, and then reload the class. Usually one of those two things will work. Otherwise, if they still are not working after those two things, then contact your field tech. So a few things that you want to know about LanSchool. The first one is right up here under View. You can click on Thumbnails and you can see them in different sizes. Most of the time, depending on your class size, you probably will have it between medium and large. Okay, this will just help you see it just a little bit easier, but notice if you hover over the top of any one, it's going to automatically pop up for you so you can see it in a larger screen. So if you're like, hey, I'm not sure that this student is on task, just go ahead and hover over the top of it. All right, so the main reason we're using LanSchool is just this feature alone, being able to view the student screens. The next thing that you're going to want to do sometimes is you can click on one student, maybe they are not on task, and you can come up here to the message button. When you click on the message button, you are now able to send a message to whatever student. Notice down here, it will have any messages that you previously sent, so you don't have to continue sending the same message over and over and over again, which is kind of nice. If you want to send that same message to all students instead of just one, I could do a Command A. Notice it highlights all of my students, and now I would be able to click and message them. Another option is maybe you have a student that is off task. You have sent them a message, they're still not listening, or maybe you just want to bring all of the attention to the front of the room. I could do a Command A, or I could select the students I want by doing a Command, click on those students that I want, and then I could click on this blank screen button. I'm not going to do that right now just because I don't want to give those students a blank screen, but you could click on it, give them a blank screen, and type in a message that you want on that blank screen. Alright, so like I said, 3 basic features that you usually use it for: the view only, the message, and the blank screen. Notice that there are other resources that you can use on here, but most of the time they don't work, and a lot of times they end up freezing your screen or the student screen, and then it ends up causing more problems. When you are done using LanSchool with that specific class, maybe you have 2 or 3 classes, you can come up to Administer One-to-One, and then instead of managing or loading your class, you can go ahead and dismiss the class. When you dismiss the class, it will then take those students off and allow somebody else to pick them up. So in secondary, that means that you're going from first hour to second hour. Now all of a sudden you dismiss the class, the second hour teachers are able to pick those kids up. Or same thing for a dual immersion. For elementary, anyone else, you probably will never have to dismiss your class. But know when you quit your class, okay, so let's say you go up to teacher and quit, you will need to reload your class. You can do that one of 2 ways. You can either come and click on load class, or after you've done that once, notice that they show up right here. So now I am able to pick whichever class I want, and it will pull that class up for me. Remember though, I do want to dismiss one class before I load my next class. All right, that is the basics of LanSchool on the teacher side. If you have any issues, please contact your EdTech or your Field Tech. Thank you.